Thank you very much. As Lauren said, my name is Gary Freeman. I'm the president and CEO of Ethos Capital. I hope you can hear me, and I'll keep this fairly simple. We actually, the company has been put together with some very talented people, and we had the good fortune, a number of the people involved in Ethos, to have a company that was bought last January to a producing gold company. And so we've had quite a bit of success over the last 4 or 5 years, and for that reason attracted some pretty substantial people to the board of directors of Ethos. The list obviously will be in the USB drive that you have, so you can look those names over at your convenience. But we feel we have a tremendously strong board of directors and a tremendously strong group of Yukon advisors and the management. So we're very happy to have developed this company off the back of a success, and we've been able to not only fund it properly, but to keep the structure of the company in very, very good condition, which I'll show you on the next slide if it works. There it is. We've got about 41 million shares outstanding. Fully diluted, I can't see that, I'm getting blind, but I think it's 52 million shares. Excuse me, and the current cash position is $15 million. So we feel we're very well funded for the next 18 months at least, and should be able to bring in additional money if the market gets any better through some of the warrant exercises and some of the options that our people have. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Ethos and what we're doing and what it does as a business. A number of years ago, we developed this little company. It was a capital pool, and initially we had focused on silver properties in Mexico. And the properties we tried to acquire were becoming difficult to acquire, silver getting more expensive. So what we tried to do was close up on some of the deals we did, and we got 1 or 2 finished, but the key projects just were not available to us. So we decided to look towards the Yukon. As you know, there was a tremendous amount of excitement in the Yukon at that time, and I still believe is, and I still believe will go on for a while. I was introduced to Shawn Ryan, who I'm sure you've heard of. Shawn Ryan was involved with the discoveries of not only the Golden Saddle, but the coffee deposit held by Kaminak. And had spent a number of years in the Yukon developing a process for identifying source gold for what became this wonderful endowment, gold endowment in the Klondike. So I went up and met Shawn, and we put together a substantial property package just to the east of the Kaminak Coffee Project. There are 5 properties, 3 of them that are east of the Kaminak Project. You'll see this, I don't have a pointer, but you'll see this green project, that's the Kaminak area. It sits on what's known as a coffee thrust fault, and it comes right through into the Ethos properties. It was a busy summer for us because this was our first year up there, and we had very little information, very little data, and we really needed to get up the curve. We wanted to try to drill this year. Unfortunately, it was a short season, but we wanted to try to drive as much up the curve as we can with soil samples and as much trenching as we could get done. We did get a lot done. We've closed out the season now. We've about 35,000 samples either now being plotted or in the lab. There's a lot of backup at the labs from the Yukon. There was a tremendous amount of money spent there this year, and so it's taken quite a bit of time to get anything back, and so that's really what crushed the drilling program. But you'll notice by this slide that there are a number of substantial deposits in the area. There's been quite a bit of gold mined out of that district, over 20 million in the Klondike itself since I think about 1896. And it's a wonderful gold endowment, and with gold at 1500, wherever it is today, the endowment is definitely worth looking for. What we're doing in the Yukon and what we're after is very typical Dawson Range intrusions, and these are the types of intrusions that have developed both the coffee and the white gold, but it's also very much what's created the placer business up there. There's a tremendous amount of placer activity in the area. Most of our properties have active placers on them or around them, and we feel that those are some of the pathfinders that are going to allow us to identify source gold or deposits that are more micro relative to the placer deposits that are being mined today. So we have a large property package in the area. It's about 1,100 square kilometers, probably the largest property in the Yukon. And we'll spend the balance of 2011 and 2012 identifying drilling targets, and we'll start drilling next year as soon as breakup starts. There we are. This is just some of the pictures of the trenches, or one of the trenches we've dug up, and the methodology is fairly straightforward. This is a part of the Yukon that's never been glaciated. Shawn Ryan had felt that soil sampling would be one of the best methods to identifying gold deposits. I think that process has worked quite well. We have been identifying fairly strong and fairly good grade gold at surface in rocks as well as in soils, and we're pretty excited to get in there next year to drill. What we've been doing is using a backhoe to get down into 6, 7, 8 feet of material to try to understand and get as much rock as we can and soil as we can from deep down, and hopefully that'll help us or lead us towards a discovery next year. That's certainly what we're there trying to do. Unfortunately I can't read this, but the work that we're doing up there is being very, very busy this year, and we think that by the end of this year, December, January, we'll have pulled together all the data and have a very clear picture as to what we'll be doing leading into breakup for next year. The one thing that I did want to bring up is this year what we believe is the Mascot, what we believe as in the Mascot Creek is one of the most significant anomalies to come out of the Yukon this summer. This has been recognized by a number of people in the district, so we're very excited about this. Very good gold grades, and this is where we'll start drilling next year. And also, one of the things that was important for us was to be able to get out and have a 12-month news cycle. And so, as I'd mentioned earlier, we had started the company as a silver company in Mexico. We still hold some of the properties. The Corrales property in particular is drill ready. We'll be going down there in October looking for some additional acquisitions, and we'll start working on the Corrales property once again, and we'll look to drilling that in short order. And that's pretty well the story. It's a short presentation, so I can't get into it in detail, but there is everything you need to know on the presentation sticks, and thank you very much for staying for the day, for the whole day.